always take care of their own. That included families, who often bore the hardest burdens of combat. Even though Mahegan was no longer in the unit, his responsibilities to his fellow operators and their families would live on as long as he did, even beyond that, as far as he was concerned. No broken promise. His buddy, Patch Owens, had texted Mahegan those words from Charlotte, North Carolina, as he was storing his surfboard at South End Surf Shop across from Crystal Pier, because that was their signal that Promise might need help. Mahegan had driven in his government-issued Cherokee SUV to rural New Hanover County, where she taught 5th grade. Mahegan hadn't seen her since her father's burial 3 years ago, when she was 21. He first met her when she was a gangly 15-year-old kid back at Fort Bragg. Her dad, Thurgood Judge White, had been a long-time unit operator and was nearly twice as old as most of Mahegan's team. As a senior non-commissioned officer, Judge had been an informal leader of Mahegan's outfit, even though Mahegan had been a captain and the commander. He had watched her grow up over the years, and when she'd broken down at Judge's funeral, she'd chosen Mahegan to latch onto and cry with. He hadn't minded because it had given him an excuse to hold his emotions in check, something he had a hard time doing, especially when he was angry. That image of Promise as a heartbroken 21-year-old young lady about to graduate from the University of North Carolina at Wilmington was what Mahegan had had in his mind as he approached the school. The kid walking fast with the shotgun poking at his duster looked in Mahegan's direction again. This time, the presumptive shooter noticed him and quickened his stride. Mahegan got a better look at what he might be carrying when he saw the menacing front end of a sawed-off shotgun hanging just below his right hip. He must have had it slung over his shoulder beneath the coat. On the shooter's left side, Mahegan couldn't see anything but the possible outline of another weapon, perhaps a pistol. He did detect something heavy in the coat pockets, probably shotgun shells. He was about 20 yards in front of Mahegan when he made the turn to the main door. As Mahegan began to run toward him, he wondered if the door was locked. Mahegan scanned the entryway and didn't see any push-to-talk button on the side, and his concerns were confirmed when the shooter yanked open the green metal door, casting a glance at Mahegan over his shoulder as he sped up his pace. Mahegan carried a Zig Zauer tribal 9mm pistol in his Cherokee, but the vehicle was 50 yards away in the parking lot. He hadn't anticipated an active school shooting scenario. For that, Patch's text would have included a different code phrase, en fuego, which is Spanish for on fire. As the shooter opened the door, Mahegan saw beyond him that teachers were leading lines of children in each direction. He remembered Promise talking about specials, which meant art class, physical education, or music. The children were smiling and excited, so he guessed some of them were getting ready to go out for recess. Mahegan caught up with the door before it closed, but the shooter already had the pistol and shotgun out from beneath his coat as he shouted, "Misha!" He was aiming the weapons at the line of children when he whirled around and trained his guns on Mahegan. "You don't want to do that," Mahegan said. The shooter was sweating, nervous. Beads of perspiration slid down his acne-scarred face like skiers navigating rough terrain. The kid was maybe 20 years old, possibly even went to the university in town. His hair was matted to his forehead, and Mahegan was looking for the tell that he was going to pull the trigger. He aimed a 12-gauge shotgun and a 9mm pistol at Mahegan's heart from a distance of 15 feet. 5 yards in a football game could be a long expanse. Mahegan wanted the shooter closer so that he could maneuver on him. Already the teachers had noticed the dangerous situation and had begun moving the children quickly in each direction. Mahegan heard some squeals and screams, but so far the teachers and students were acting professionally, as if they had rehearsed the drill. "Seriously,